Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Real Watchers live stream for March 19th, 2025. My name is Garrett.
And I'm Kevin.
And we are your lovely co-hosts. Hope
Mhm.
you're all having a fantastic week so far. Let's see here. Yep, Pixar, you are right on time. And no need to apologize. Just, don't act like that in the future. You know what I'm saying? All right. Use it as a learning step, Alrighty. Well, I hope you all had a fantastic week so far. Kevin, how the hell you been over the last week?
Good. School's been a little bit more difficult than I thought it would be, so that's why I didn't watch too many movies this week. Did go see a movie that I really wanted to see, which I'm super happy about. So yeah, can't complain.
Well, there you go. My week was okay. It's better. It's gotten better this week. Certainly better than it was last week, so that's a good thing. But let's go ahead and dive into the stories this week, because we got some stuff to get through. Up first, Catch Up Entertainment, the same company. I also forgot to mention this last week, but the same company that just released the Day the Earth almost blew up. What I think is what it's called, The Day the Earth Blew Up, which is the Looney Tunes movie that just came out in theaters. They are currently bidding with Warner Brothers to get the rights to and release Coyote versus Acme. This is huge news. And I think that if they do that, Catch Up Entertainment's going to get a lot of backers, because a lot of people really want this movie to come out. So really excited for this. It sounds like it's almost complete, the deal. If true, they would probably release it late this year, early next year. And it sounds like it will cost $50 million for Catch Up to purchase the film and distribute it.
Gotcha. Good for them. Garrett, turn down the music a little bit. It's a little loud.
Sorry, my bad. I forgot to do that.
You're good. No worries.
Jumped right ahead into the stories.
That's okay. We're excited to talk about it.
But yeah, so this is huge news. Hopefully
they can win it, because you saw the Looney Tunes one that came out this week, right?
Yes, and I will get to that when we get to the reviews section.
And hopefully this can, if the numbers go up with this animated movie, this one, they can see the potential in this one as well. So.
Well, yeah, and we'll get to that when we talk about the box office.
Okay.
So, yeah. But passing over to you, Kevin.
Yes. Next up, the Electric Shake viewership disappoints. Likely won't enter Netflix all-time top 10, which is it's iffy for me, because we'll talk about it in our reviews. But I don't think it was that bad, but I don't think it was that good as well.
Yeah, this movie entered into, obviously, the current top 10, like the most popular things on Netflix, because it's a large release for them. And, they are marketing it pretty heavily. This is definitely, it's been getting a lot of negative word of mouth. We talked about it last week a little bit as the reviews started to come in. So some negative word of mouth has probably been driving people away from a movie that I think you should probably still check out for yourself to see whether or not you like it. We'll get there. I'm also kind of in the same boat. I don't think it's a good movie by any means, but I don't think it's as bad as some people are saying.
There are some shining moments in that movie, and we'll talk about it when we get there.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
Yeah.
So this news story is already being discredited a little bit. But Snow White's early reactions were calling it the best live-action remake in years. That was a lot of the reactions coming out of the premiere and a couple of screenings that they had afterward. Now that the film is already out, it's getting about the same Metacritic scores as everything else. It's hovering right around a 47 to a 49% across critic sites. So it's getting middle-of-the-road stuff. Apparently, people who are reviewing the movie, actually reviewing it and not just hating on it, the ones who are actually reviewing it are calling out some positives that are really, really good and really promising sounding. And then obviously every film's going to have negative in some eyes, but a little bit more middle of the road. I do plan on checking this out this weekend if I have the time, so I will be able to let you know next week what I think of it, at least. It
just looks interesting. I just don't know why they would do it. I mean, it would be cool to see, just to see if there's any differences in the story-wise aspect of it, but it just doesn't
This is the one that makes sense though to do because it is over it's almost 100 years old, and there's so limited in what you could do back then that you can expand upon it and make something new out of it. So
exactly. So that's I can see where you're going from, but like for me, I'm like, it's just Snow White. It's not like I don't need to see. Well, I want to see it, but I was like, I don't need to run to the theaters to see it.
Yeah, definitely. I think that Lilo and Stitch definitely looks like it's gonna be the better of the two.
One looks so much fun. Yeah.
And I don't know why they still haven't announced a live action Atlantis. Let's do it.
I'm down for it. Or Treasure Planet too.
Yeah, that too.
Next up, Jenna Ortega wants to star in the Gremlins reboot. She says "Call Me," which is a great song. That
I'll call her if you want. Give me your number, Jenna. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, like, she is becoming a scream queen. She's really becoming like, a modern face for kind of popular horror, right? She's in Wednesday. She was in the Scream films, so like a very noticeable presence in the industry for that kind of genre. And I think it would be a good fit. I think, I do think she's getting overcast in a lot of stuff. Not that she's a bad actress by any means. She's pretty good, but like I do think she's getting a little over exposure. So
I just saw her in the X, a movie that I just watched, and to be honest, I didn't even know she was in it, and I was actually genuinely surprised that she was in it. Yeah. So I don't feel like she needs to be in every quote unquote horror movie that comes out new. So I would like to maybe see an up and coming star take the place of her role, but we'll see. We'll see when we get there.
We'll see. Obviously, this isn't anything happening yet. She just says she wants to do it. So next up, really excited for this. Warfare is getting its first reactions, and after having a premiere to exclusively veterans, and these first reactions are calling it tense and terrifying, which are two words that I want to hear from a war movie. Because war should not be glorified; it should be horrified. I guess you could.
Yeah, you can definitely say that. Have you seen Black Hawk Down?
Yes, it's probably my favorite war movie that takes place after like the 90s.
Yeah, that's such a and I can see little glimpses of that movie in this movie, but this one's notched it up to like 20. And I'm so down for it too, because it takes like the aspect of like the tactical aspect of being in combat. And hopefully what I don't want them to do is your pet peeve, put like music going on in the background or anything like that.
It doesn't sound like it. It sounds like it will be in real time. So it sounds like it's going to be pretty gosh darn interesting. And the fact that it's directed by a veteran who was directly involved in this event and is retelling the event from his point of view is really something special. And a lot of the other people who were there, who are alive when we're able to like attend the screening and stuff, were very impressed with what they did. And I think by taking someone who knew the event and knows what happened, or at least is recalling it from memory, the film doesn't say based on true events, it says based on memory, which is really kind of cool. This one, but you get Alex Garland, who is an experienced director and knows how to make a film, and you combine those two and make them both in the director's chair. It's a perfect choice.
Yeah,
so
it is.
I'm super excited for this movie.
Yeah, it does look very, very good.
Yeah, hopefully it's another like award season contender, but it might be coming out too early in the year. But who knows?
Oh, really? Okay. Well, hopefully it gets its praise though. But next up, Saw 11 might be canceled. Future of the franchise might be in shambles, unfortunately. Someone close to production said producer fights have left the film totally dead. Unfortunate, because Saw X was really good.
Yeah, this was supposed to come out in September last year.
Yeah.
And then was delayed a year.
No, it's not.
Yeah, apparently producer fights over the script and the film are just leaving it like totally dead in the water. And we're probably going to get a cancellation sometime soon.
God. Unfortunate.
Yep. What these things happen. Going from one unfortunate piece of news to another, at least for me, A Complete Unknown, if you have not seen the film in theaters yet, will be available to stream on Hulu on March 27th. So that's a week from tomorrow. And if you haven't seen the movie, if you're at all interested in seeing the film about Bob Dylan, you can go right ahead and check it out on Hulu next week. You were here when I reviewed it. I think this is one of the most boring movies that came out in 2024. 2024.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say it was one of the worst. It was not a good movie, in my opinion, even though it got a bunch of Oscar attention. But
it was critically acclaimed, you should say.
I'm in the minority on that movie. I totally understand that. So, but if it's intriguing to you at all, go check it out. Go see it, and it'll be available for you.
Yeah, that would be cool. I'm gonna mess up on this guy's last name. So Darren Aronofsky. No, that was close enough. Is in the talks to direct Cujo for Netflix. That'd be cool to bring Cujo back. I mean, I haven't watched the original one yet, so I can't say if this is a good thing or a bad thing. So
yeah, and it's weird to see Aronofsky wanting to do it.
What did he do before?
He most recently did The Whale with Brendan Fraser. He also did Requiem for a Dream and a lot of like ethereal type films. So it's kind of interesting that he's in talks to direct this for Netflix, which he's usually an indie filmmaker. So I don't know. It's kind of interesting if he ends up going that path.
Yeah, it would be interesting, but cool to see if he does it right.
Yeah. I'm curious if Nadia's in the chat, if she's seen Cujo. What do you think of it, Nadia? You'll have to let us know. Next up, Conan O'Brien will officially be returning next year to host the Academy Awards, which is awesome because he's probably the best host they've had in a while. And also, Nikki Glaser will be returning to host the Golden Globes next year, because she is one of the best hosts the Golden Globes has had. So I'm totally fine with both of these, man. Conan did such a good job at the Oscars this year. And Nikki, I mean, like, the Golden Globes are kind of a joke of an award ceremony, but she did a really good job this year and kept everything engaging.
She made it really funny, too. Like, I know she's a comedian and everything like that, but she poked some bears out there sometimes and said some interesting things, but everybody enjoyed it, which is good. No one took it the wrong way, which is awesome.
Yeah. And it's kind of nice you have two people who are properly funny that are also seemingly well liked by the majority of people. So keep it coming.
Yeah, I like it. Superman's final cut is roughly 140 minutes long, and that's enough to tell a good story.
Yep. I mean, we've been hearing it sounds, I don't know what, I don't make any early reactions anymore. I'm going to wait until reviews come out and things like that, but a lot of the test screenings haven't really gone that well apparently. But I've also heard the same thing about Oscar-winning movies, so I don't know what to believe, right? But not saying this is going to be Oscar-nominated, but it sounds like this film's going to be about 2 hours and 20 minutes, which is totally fine. It's going to be a big movie kind of setting up this DC universe, so totally here for it.
You got to remember, it's by James Gunn, too, who did fantastic work on Guardians of the Galaxy and setting up characters for success. So
yeah,
I'm totally down. If I see bad reviews or anything like that, I'm just going to put them aside and see what I think about this movie.
Yeah, 100%. Next up, super exciting, a new Starship Troopers movie is on the way from District 9 director Neil Blomkamp and Sony. I'm really excited because I love the original Starship Troopers movie. I think that it is one of the best pieces of satire we've ever gotten. But I am a little worried that this might be a more strict interpretation of the book, because the book is not a satire. It is overly fascist. Like, it is not a good, thing. But I'm interested to see what they end up doing with this. Better visual effects and a new look and a kind of a new direction. I'm totally here for it. Neil Blomkamp is a great director who has been given some bad projects, but I think he is a very, very talented director, so I'm excited to see this. Also, this is coming around the same time and the same studio that is making the Helldivers movie, so it's a little odd that they're having two very similar movies, but I think they're going to be going more in the serious direction with Starship Troopers, and I think they'll go in more of the hilarious direction with Helldivers.
Okay.
So
hopefully they just make it happen.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. Next up, Amber Midthunder gives disappointing update on Prey 2, and she says, "I don't know what's happening." And unfortunately, because Prey was amazing, so why can't we do Prey 2 and just have it be fantastic?
Yeah, and she was just on the publicity trail for Novocaine, which is where she was sharing this information. Also, she was just in Opus, the A24 movie that also came out this week. That was a massive bomb, but we'll get to that with the box office report. And final piece of news this week: if for any reason you wanted to see Baby Girl, it's going to be coming to Max on April 25th. I still like this movie's not that great. It's fine, but like I still have the memory of seeing this in an empty theater, which is just hysterical to me. But I've heard horror stories of people being in the audience with people who actually find this movie somewhat like intriguing or attractive, and I don't want to ever be in a room with those people. But yeah, if you want to check it out, because the A24's deal with Max, it'll be available on April 25th.
Thanks.
Alrighty, that is it for the stories this week. Nice. I mean, I want to star in the Gremlins reboot too, but will I get a call? No, can't get everything you want, Ortega.
I mean, it's true.
I mean, can't get everything you want. So, Superman's going to be 140 minutes, apparently. Yep. Good time to tell a story. Will Touchstone be involved? No. As Joey points out, Touchstone does not exist anymore. They are owned by Sony. So, all right. Let's go ahead and dive into the trailers that came out this week. We had quite a few that came out. So what stood out to you, Kevin?
Ballerina and F1, because those are the two. F1, I think I'm a little bit more hyped on because F1 season just started. They had their first race, and so I'm looking forward to this one. But Ballerina also looks fantastic as well. So can't go wrong with either of these.
Gotcha. For me, I think F1 definitely stands out. I think that they're taking a very similar approach to F1 that they did with Top Gun Maverick because it's the same director. So, and this is also like in all the very early awards season blogs and stuff, this is a front runner for Best Picture right now, like in the top 10. So hopefully it's as good as everyone thinks it's going to be. I'm also really highly, looking forward to, where was it? The Life of Chuck, which is an upcoming Stephen King adaptation. Not a horror Stephen King. It's the same kind of story as like a Green Mile type of a thing. But it's got a huge cast, and it's directed by Mike Flanagan, who did Haunting a Hill House and all those. So I'm very much excited for this. And then lastly, a trailer that came out today that I didn't even know was happening is an anime film called All You Need Is Kill, which is actually an adaptation of the same book and story that Tom Cruise's Edge of Tomorrow was. So very much excited for this, and it looks stunningly animated. So I am very much looking forward to that.
You know what I'm seeing on here, that Freakier Friday and Elio are not like at the top of the list here.
Oh, it's just I just was adding to this as I was working today, so I didn't have a chance to really.
Oh, okay, but those
in anywhere.
Those I feel like you would put as the top if you knew like they were coming out.
Typically, like what happens. So here's a little bit of insight. When I'm making the list, I put like the trailers that I have seen or the ones that I know came out, like in their first, like earlier on as the week goes on, and then usually the day of today, I'll go through and add anything that I missed in any order.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. If I have time, I'll put them in order of like most, like big to least big or whatever. But
yeah.
Let's see here. As a Freaky Friday fan, I'm disappointed in the Freakier Friday trailer. Looks too Gen Z. Well, they were going to go for it. They should have catered it to our generation because we're the ones that watched Freaky Friday when it first came out. But
trying to cater to the other generation. Oh, Nadia, have you watched Cujo?
Yeah, I don't know if you had heard. We were asking what you thought of Cujo because we are potentially getting a remake. Alrighty, and Kevin, I'll pass it over to you for the box office.
Yeah, the box office a little low this week.
It's one of the slowest weeks of the year so far.
Yeah,
actually, no, it is the slowest week. Excuse me.
The slowest week of the year. Hopefully, it can get picked back up because spring break is coming up for some people. So I know kids aren't going to go see Novocaine though because that's rated R, and it came in at the box office number 1 with 8.8 million. Black Bag number 2 is 7.6 million. Mickey 17 hanging on there with 7.4 million. Captain America: Brave New World was 5.7 million, and The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie, came in last at 3.2 million. But that's okay.
Not last, it came in
there.
fifth. Which, like, the fact that Warner Brothers had no faith in this movie and was going to completely shelve it, to the fact that it showed up in the top 5 in its first weekend, and it's a Looney Tunes movie in 2025. Dude, I don't know why the fuck Coyote versus Acme was shelved, because people clearly want to watch it. But it's very, very surprising that it came on there. I want to double check and see real quick what its worldwide gross is real quick, because I think it said it cost $8 million for the Ketchup Entertainment to purchase.
Oh, okay.
And worldwide, it's already made $6 million. So give it a couple more weeks, and it will make its money back. And
did you say 8 million or 800 million?
8 million.
Oh, I was like, that's not catching up.
It's a very cheap movie to make.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's a very slow week. I mean, if you think about it, the top 3 films this week are all R-rated, more adult films, which is kind of interesting. And we still have at least an animated movie with Looney Tunes, and I guess you could say more family fare with Captain America. Not that the Marvel movies are family movies, but like you could take kids to it.
I think that Looney Tunes movie will be bumped up next week because of spring break coming up.
That, and I think also it's getting a lot of positive word of mouth on Letterboxd and in the cinephile community. So, and especially because like the Coyote versus Acme stuff, people are really pushing for this movie. And there was more people in the theater for Looney Tunes than there was for Novocaine when we went.
Yeah, so, there were only 2 in our theater for Novocaine.
Yeah, just saying. All right, a couple more here. Cujo was okay. Not really a fan of One Location movies, but Tiz was entertaining. Okay.
Okay.
Don't know how the series will work, but okay. It is not going to be a series. It'll be a movie. It won't be a series, I saw. Oops. Fox I'm telling you, I've seen the Captain America film. Cool. Whatever you think. If you want to tell us what you think, go right ahead. And because Zaslav is a putz, that is putting it lightly, Joey. The man is a fucking moron.
Who's Zaslav?
He's the current head of Warner Brothers. He's the one that shelved all those projects.
Okay.
So we're blaming him. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get into the movies that are coming out this weekend. And starting out with the biggest one, which is Snow White. A princess joins forces with 7 dwarves to liberate her kingdom from her cruel stepmother, the Evil Queen. It is the live-action adaptation of the 1937 Disney animated film Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs. Again, kind of, it seems like people either really like or really don't like this movie. If it appeals to you, go and see it. But moving along, we have The Alto Knights. 2 of New York City's most notorious organized crime bosses vie for control of the city's streets. Once best friends, petty jealousies, and a series of betrayals set them on a deadly collision course. This is pretty notable because both main characters are played by Robert De Niro in very different roles, which is very interesting, even though this movie is getting some pretty around the same scores as Snow White. And a lot, the number 1 review I saw for this was, this is what came out instead of Coyote versus Acme. So there's some real tension in the water right now. Up after that is Locked. A thief breaking into a luxury SUV realizes that he has slipped into a sophisticated game of psychological horror. This is starring Bill Skarsgård, who played Pennywise and Nosferatu recently, and also stars Anthony Hopkins as the one who locks him in the SUV. So I think it looks all right. Hopefully it'll be a little bit more widely released. And lastly is Magazine Dreams. An amateur bodybuilder battles both the limits of his physical body and his own inner demons to gain recognition. This film is it's starring Jonathan Majors, who was kind of outcasted from the industry, but has come back given recent, basically allegations being rescinded and everything. And the movie's getting some pretty good reviews. It's got a 72 on Metacritic right now, and even higher, I think it has an 89 on Rotten Tomatoes. So if you're interested, it is about bodybuilding, which kind of like Love Lies Bleeding, but I would recommend Love Lies Bleeding probably instead of this one. Alrighty. And that is it for the written stuff. Let's go ahead and see here. Zaslav's nose will go longer. Yeah, whatever.
Yep.
Maybe. If we're talking remake, Cujo, I volunteer Millie to star as Cujo.
Yep.
Because she attacks.
I agree.
Um,
That's emoji.
Didn't Fox Searchlight remove Magazine Dreams from their schedule? I thought they removed it. They did remove it from their schedule. They re-added it after the allegations against Jonathan Majors were taken back, and he was kind of cleared of everything, as far as I know, from what happened to the situation. Also, they do need to kind of make their money off of it. I don't know. Certainly, some studios tend to shelve things and get money from it. Some don't. I don't know how it works. I haven't taken that class for my major yet, or my master's yet. So, Alrighty, but let's go ahead and get into the reviews this week. And we have two films that Kevin and I both watched this week that are the same.
Yep.
So let's go ahead and start off first with the lesser of the two, which is The Electric State. So, Kevin, you watched the film this week. Actually, I got to change up the music. You watched the film this week and gave it a 62.
Correct.
And then I watched The Electric State this week and gave it a 40. So, Kevin, why don't you go ahead and speak your piece a little bit about Electric State real quick?
Yeah. Well, in my review, I did put that I absolutely love how the robots look in this movie. The story is good as well, but the main character, Billy Bob Brown's main character, is just
Millie Bobby Brown.
I never remember. She's 11 in my head, so 11. Her character is just. It's not there. I didn't have any remorse or sympathy for her or anything like that. The brother was awesome. I really liked the nerdy geeky thing, and then he finally gets praised. And then I don't want to spoil anything, but her character just didn't grow with the story. Herman, is it Herman? Herm and Chris Pratt's characters grew throughout the whole story. I really enjoyed their character growth, especially Herm's character growth. He was the best part about this whole movie, first of all. But the designs of the robots in this movie and the cinematography in this movie, with just the big sweeping planes that you get to see in the exfil center, is really, really cool. I really loved it. It was very beautiful as well, very futuristic and very robotic at the same time, very sci-fi, like Blade Runner for kids is what I chopped this up to. And I really enjoyed it. I mean, it wasn't good, it wasn't bad, but I was in it for the robots, and that's what gave it a 62 out of 100.
Sure. I'm similar here. I think that the film visually is incredible. It really does look just like the original art book, and it's a great looking movie, as a $320 million movie should look good. Also, yeah, Herm, best character in the movie. I think the supporting cast of this movie is pretty darn good. However, my biggest problem with this movie, number one, is the story. It is the most generic, formulaic story you have ever seen. And there's no real surprises that happen. And number two is the lead actors. Chris Pratt is just Chris Pratt in this movie. He actually knows, he's painfully aware that he just plays versions of himself or of the same character. But at least he has some funny moments in this movie. Yeah. Millie Bobby Brown is horrible in this movie. I literally one of the worst performances I've seen all year. She's terrible. I don't know why she's attempting to do things outside of Stranger Things. I haven't watched Stranger Things since season 2, but I remember she was pretty good there. So I don't know what's going on. But again, visually, the movie looks great. The supporting cast is good, but that's just not enough to carry you past the point for me.
Do you think that the writing was bad for her character?
Oh yeah, I mean, not terrible, but if you have a script that's so, and then you're giving it to an actor that seemingly can't act or can't emote, then it makes it worse. So maybe I'm thinking the script or the dialogue is worse than it actually is, because Millie Bobby Brown can't fucking say something without some emotion behind her. Who knows? But all right. So the second movie that you and I both watched this week, we actually both saw this one in theaters together.
Yep, with two other people. We didn't know that.
Yeah, it was a double date. We went and saw Novocaine, and Kevin gave Novocaine a 92 out of 100. And I gave Novocaine a 76. So, Kevin, what made it a 92 out of 100 for you?
this movie's just so much fun. I love how awkward our main character is throughout this whole movie. To know the premise, he just can't feel pain, and it's an action movie. You can put the two together and see where we're going with this. But they could have done it in so many other ways. Like he could have been Superman throughout the whole thing, but no, he's just he's kind of a cringy guy who's very he's not social at all, and I really love that because it's like it takes a totally different turn throughout the movie. And him falling in love with a person, and then there's a twist in the middle of the movie, not at the end, which was really cool. But it's just action and a guy who can't feel pain. You're gonna have really comedic reliefs throughout the whole movie, and it was great. I absolutely loved it. He meets his online friend, which is awesome in that aspect as well, and everything is not what it seems online. So, but it's still a really good movie. The gore in this movie is really good as well for you. We were wincing at a lot of the things in that movie theater, so that's why I gave it a 92. It's so much fun.
Yeah, I agree. This is a very fun movie, and I would say it's good, not great. I definitely think it's missing something to carry it through. I think the performances are fantastic. Jack Quaid is totally underrated. One of the better leading actors now, kind of younger actors. I think Amber Midthunder is fantastic in this movie when she's there. She's not in it as much as I would like her to be, but the story doesn't really give her a lot of reasons to be there a lot, unfortunately. And Jacob Batalon is actually good in this movie. I still feel bad that he was in Tarot, but hey, he's here and he's better. So I think I like that there are some unexpected turns that the film takes, and Kevin's not paying attention to me.
No,
I'm just kidding. But I think the dialogue is a little weird at points, and especially there is a lunch date that the characters go on. Once Kevin puts his headset back on, he will hear what I'm saying here. There is a lunch date in this movie that, in hindsight, feels really predatory.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't eat because I might bite my tongue off. And she's like, oh, we'll do it, you pussy, essentially. And then he's like, oh, okay, fine. And that kind of feels a little weird. But the whole point is that he's in love with her. And so, it makes sense for why he would do it. But the dialogue around it wasn't that good. And some of the dialogue in this movie is not the best. But it's okay because, outside of the main cast, the acting is a little wooden. It's a lower budget action movie. I don't know what you're going to expect, but it's a fun movie. It's a good time at the movies, and if you can see it with an audience, I would highly recommend it because the wincing and the sounds are real good.
The other two people in the audience, they were doing the same things we were when that was happening. They were wincing, they were laughing at the same things we were too. So it was a good crowd, even though it was only two other people.
Even though this wasn't really a crowd. But those are the two movies that we saw together, or that we saw the same. I have three other movies that I watched this week. Kevin, you have one, so 2, 1, 1. We'll do it that way. So the first movie that I watched, outside of everything else, is A Fish Called Wanda, which is a fantastic comedy movie. Kevin, I highly recommend you watch this movie because it was great. This is an exceedingly funny film with a really great cast. It's got John Cleese in it from Monty Python. It's also got, oh my gosh, this is going to kill me, Michael Palin from Monty Python as well, but it also has Kevin Kline and Jamie Lee Curtis. And it's such a... it's fun to watch a movie about a bunch of people who are bumbling around and don't know what they're doing, and including crime and trying to get some jewels back. The cast is fantastic. Kevin Kline deserves his Oscar for this movie. He is fantastic here. Michael Palin's also fantastic, bringing us kind of warmth to his character. Jamie Lee Curtis plays a really fun femme fatale here. And John Cleese is always interesting to see him in this kind of role where he's like the doofus who falls for everything. But I do think the story gets a little dragged down in some places, but on the whole, and because of that, it does make the film feel a tad long. So it does have some pacing issues here and there. But I think that if there could have been some trimming. That's okay. I don't know what could have been trimmed. But the comedy is why you watch this movie. It is so funny. The performances are so memorable. And it's a lot of fun. So I would highly recommend it. if you have the chance. It's currently on Criterion Channel with their supporting actor collection or supporting performance collection.
Okay.
As talked about earlier, let's go ahead and talk about The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie. I love that this movie exists and that we actually got it in theaters. Mm-hmm. That's fantastic. It is it's the first fully animated Looney Tunes movie that we've ever gotten. That is such a great novelty to have. And shame on Warner Brothers for not having faith in these characters anymore. It's a wonderfully animated movie that I think the visual gags go a lot further in this movie than the written ones. There's definitely some cringy moments of humor that try to appeal to today's crowd. But beyond that, it has this retro modern look, which is kind of fun. Like, it looks like a 50s movie, but not really. And it's clearly takes some notes from classic 50s sci-fi B movies, which I totally love. Like I said, some of the jokes fall flat, but I do appreciate the attempt to bring them into this modern time. There are a lot of jokes in this movie, so it's okay that not a lot of them some of them don't work. But it's just crazy. This movie had 10 writers and no one could have written a funny moment for that scene. But I mean, it's here. It's fine. It's certainly better than a lot of other modern Looney Tunes stuff, but it does feel in spirit close to the classic Looney Tunes, but not completely. So, I mean, it is still worth it for Looney Tunes fans. There were quite a few of them in the theater when I went there. There was a lot of very audible laughter and people having a good time, and I was very excited to see that. So,
very cool.
If you get the chance to go see it, definitely, Joey. If you went and saw it, I would love to hear what you have to say, because I know how big of a fan you are. But let's keep it the same score for you, Kevin.
Yeah, I saw X. This is on Max currently, and I didn't enjoy the first scene. First act of this movie. It's just a lot of they're making porno. That's why it's called X. But once it starts to get into the creepy vibes with the older women, and the husband of the older women, and when shit starts to hit the fan pretty much, that's when I really enjoyed this movie. The gore in this movie is fantastic. The characters, to be honest, didn't really care about them. Maybe Mia Goth's character. That's the only one that I really truly cared about, because it focuses on her a lot more than any of the other characters. I want to know a little bit more about the old man and the old woman who live in that house. I'm watching Pearl. I think I'm like 30 minutes into Pearl, which is hopefully that I can understand a little bit more about that. But it was up until the gore and everything happens, I didn't enjoy it, and then after that, I really enjoyed it. So I give it a 72 out of 100.
All right. Last up for me, and last up for this before we get into our wheel spin movies, is a 1945 World War II movie called They Were Expendable. This is the first film that I had to watch for my current World War II class. So really exciting stuff here. I think that as far as wartime propaganda films go, this came out right towards the end of the war. This movie is refreshingly bleak, and it is darker in tone. There's an anger within this movie, and it does suffer from some patriotic propaganda moments, but it is generally a dark movie. Directed by the legendary director John Ford. The film does struggle with one major problem, and it doesn't really hold your attention. The first act of this movie, more like the first hour, is your typical 1940s boring film. It's a lot of white guys standing in a circle talking about things and not really doing anything. And that's what's really frustrating. Like, obviously they don't have as big a budget. Because of the war still happening, they couldn't get as many action scenes in or whatever. But once the film takes off after that first hour, it's great. And actually, it's one of the better World War II movies I've seen that are earlier in release history. It goes into some really interesting areas of people becoming disenfranchised with the war and becoming very upset that what they're doing isn't really having an effect, or whatever it may be. It's really something kind of awesome. I think that John Wayne, who is in this movie, this is probably the best I've seen him. He's definitely playing against type here, someone who's more of a reluctant character. And when I'm gonna, this was my homework question for the week. I would not say he's very heroic in this movie, but it's got some fine performances, which I can't really argue with. It is unflinching for its time. It really portrays people losing and the loss of life and the disenfranchisement you feel at your superiors when that happens, and that's something that didn't really come out around this time. So it's really refreshing for a World War II movie. I think you will be surprised if you do end up watching this movie. It is on Max if you want to watch it. Once you get through that first hour, though, man, it's some pretty darn good stuff.
Very cool.
Alrighty, well, those are the movies we watched outside of the wheel spin. We have some comments here.
Yeah.
Oh, my ferocious child.
Yes, the Milsters.
Haven't you heard the saying, 2's company, 3's a crowd, 4 is a swarm? We were swarming that theater.
That sounds sexual.
Well, I mean, hey, it was Novocaine. Couldn't feel anything. Alrighty. Well, let's go ahead and get into the wheel spins. Kevin, you're short this week.
Yeah, Rebel Rabbit. This one was really good. A really funny Bugs Bunny movie going to court to try to stop some things that are happening. I mean, excuse me, the animation style in this movie, WB and Disney kill it in the late 40s, early 50s with these shorts. Absolutely loved it. Bugs has his 2 cents about everything and does his shenanigans. So it was really fun to see. I absolutely enjoyed it. So I get an 87 out of 100.
All right. My short this week.
Did you guess that short? Remember last week you said, I'm just going to watch a bunch of goofies do gymnastics?
No, actually.
Oh. Okay.
And it's, kind of. So it's Goofy Gymnastics has our lovable dog hybrid person, Goofy, getting home from work really tired, and he hears something on the radio that he is not a real man unless he works out. So he orders a workout kit and listens to a vinyl record that teaches him how to work out and get fit. And it's okay. This is the kind of Disney shorts that have really lost any notable ideas. So, it's just, I don't know. It really feels like they were running on empty with this. It's well animated, and it's got a couple of good gags, but it's just not very interesting. I still liked it, but it wasn't like the best short. It's not like their classic Merry Melodies or not Merry Melodies. Oh man, that's gonna drive me nuts. Silly Symphonies. It's not like their old beautiful shorts. This is just very lackluster in comparison.
Gotcha.
Alrighty, and probably one of the highest rated wheel spin movies in a while. From Kevin here.
Yeah, The Grapes of Wrath. And this is very interesting. So I did a little research after this movie, and because it doesn't really tell you what's really going on in this movie, and it's about the Dust Bowl of
1930s.
Thank you. Sorry.
20s or 30s.
Yeah, I think it's 30s.
During the Great Depression, for sure.
Yeah. And everybody going out west to find jobs, but then there's not jobs out there, unfortunately. And then everybody is in California, so it's being overpopulated and everything. So it was very interesting to know the history behind that, because I don't think I ever learned about this in school or anything like that. But the characters in this film, they're good. They're not the best. I was just in it to see what was going to happen to the whole family, because you stick with this one family the entire time. You're not going to different families, seeing how they thrive or don't succeed in this movie. And you're in it for the whole family, and you get to the end part and you feel very satisfied about this movie. But I wanted to say, this black and white movie looks absolutely gorgeous. The things that they could do in the 40s with film is absolutely fantastic. If you know the truck scene where they just load everything up on the truck and it looks like the suspension is going to break the entire time while they're driving it, it's crazy. But also how you can find like a freedom in California if you just look in the right direction is what I also saw this. It's like, yes, you might hit some speed bumps, no pun intended, because they're always in a car, but speed bumps on the way, you can always find a safe haven if you keep going and keep tugging on, which is really nice. So, but I thought this was fantastic. I wish I was seeing this in the school. So I give him 97 out of 100.
All right. And last for me was Nadia's win that won this week, which was Mr. Crockett. This is a Hulu exclusive horror film, and I think that this is an interesting and fun little film. And that's the problem with it, that it's little. This is a film that needs to be longer and a bigger scope. And I think that obviously they do as much as they can with the budget that they have, and I like it for that. But this begs to be bigger, like it has really good practical effects in it, but like more of it, like show us more, and it's because it's clear that it's a lower budget film, but they do a lot with it, which is nice. The biggest reason this film succeeds is because of Elvis Nolasco, who plays Mr. Crockett. He is great in this movie. He really feels like he's doing his best to embody characters like Mr. Rogers or LeVar Burton from Reading Rainbow, like that kind of lovable kids show personality. But then there's that also really dark, creepy, and violent side to him, which is also really nicely explored as well. Like I said, the effects are very good in this movie, particularly Chair is a wonderful little bit of addition to the movie. The costumes all really work really well. The makeup, the blood and gore effects, and then the concept of the movie, like the idea that this is a children's show host that can come out of the TV supernaturally and take revenge on the parents that are acting bad, is really something special. So I really think that's really cool. Like I said, it needs to be bigger in scope. I also think that the performers in this movie that are not Elvis Nolasco are really weak. The kids aren't that good, and the parents are clearly not the best actors with SAG cards. Like, really the only good performance is Nolasco. He is the best part of this movie, and it's why you watch it. And that's why I would probably say. I think that it's certainly better than a lot of other horror films that we get nowadays that are in that low budget category, or like the straight to streaming ones. Mm-hmm. And I would recommend you give it a try. If you're on Hulu or on Disney Plus, it is certainly a cut above.
Nice. So, very cool.
And hopefully that director gets a bigger budget next time.
Mm-hmm.
So, alrighty. So let's go ahead. We have one comment here. I like how with Rebel Rabbit, he eventually has the whole U.S. after him, and for the dumbest reason, dumb for bugs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's funny, but then the shenanigans behind that is also, when it leads up to that, is really funny as well. So can't go wrong with WB shorts from the late 40s, 50s. Can't go wrong with them.
There you go. All right, now let's go ahead and jump into our favorite part of many parts of the show, which is
the Wheel of Fortune, which is the Wheel of Fate, because that's already taken.
There you go. Yeah, there's already a show for that. But yeah, go ahead. If you have any suggestions to throw on the wheel, go ahead and do it. We will watch it if it comes up on here. I want to check and see something because I see something there. House from 1985. That is a different movie. That is not
you watched.
That's not the one that I watched. I wanted to double check that. The one I watched is from 1977. So, alrighty.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here.
I remember doing one movie now, guys, just because we're in school.
Oh, for winning the reason.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I do have this film, which I've seen recently at someone's house, Abilene Town. Let me go ahead and double check here. Abilene Town. Okay, yeah. Interesting. We'll go ahead and put that on the list here. Never even heard of it before, so more than happy to check it out. Christine... I don't know if that's on here already. Is it on here? I've already seen it and reviewed it, so I think it'd be Kevin only.
Right, let me look.
Poltergeist from the 80s. I have seen that movie. I own that movie, actually. So that would be a Kevin only. And then Rent-A-Pal. Kevin, have you seen Christine? Or reviewed it?
I'm looking up Christine right now. I have not seen Poltergeist 80s, so you can put that down for me.
Okay.
I have not seen Christine either, so put that down for me. I'm down.
Alrighty. And then there's Rent-A-Pal. And we got some shorts here from Joey. Thank you very much, sir. Always appreciate getting some more shorts. Alrighty. And we have first Donald's Dream Voice.
Ponchos, actually.
Ponchos. Hide away.
Cue ball cat. Which
Okay.
sounds really funny, actually. Love me, love my mouse. Pantry picnic.
Panic.
Oh,
Close though.
sort of.
Rabbit Punch.
And bunny hugged. That one sounds cute.
Alrighty. We'll give it another 30 seconds or so in case anyone has anything. But Kevin, what are you hoping for this week? You watched a classic last week.
I did watch a class. You know, I'm down for Christine, even though it just popped up. But that would be really fun, like an '80s horror movie about a car. What other one should? Just looking on this, Project X would be fun to see because I really enjoyed that movie when it came out in theaters. But I don't know how much it would hold up now. And then Monsters Inc. classic. That would be really cool as well.
All right. For me, actually, I think we both watched that.
I think so.
Yeah, I don't know. I love the fact there's a short called Satan's Waiting. I'm waiting to watch that one. Fox President says The President's Lady. I haven't heard of that one. The President's Lady. That is in fact. All right. We'll get that on there. Thank you. And that'll be the last one that we're going to add this week. So we'll shuffle it up.
I want my short first. Let's try to get that short in one spin.
So Kevin's short is...
Oh, it's almost landed on a short.
It's a droopy one.
Oh, another Droopy? My man, Droopy.
Droopy's Good Deed.
Never Ending Story is another really good movie. Classic.
All right. So Droopy's Good Deed is for Kevin's short this week. Shuffling it up, and we'll get my short. I really want Satan's Waiting. That's just such a great name. I might watch that outside the wheel.
The Crow Atlantis.
It's Clause for Alarm, I believe, is the one. Yeah, Clause for Alarm is my short. Let me double check to make sure I haven't watched that one. No, I have not. All right. Super excited to watch that one. Alrighty, and let's go ahead and delete that off the list. And spin it for Kevin's movie.
Yep, my movie.
Good night and good luck.
Right.
Very interesting. I've been wanting to watch that movie for a while. I believe it's George Clooney directed the movie. Yeah, from 2005. You're going to have to rent it, unfortunately. The story of journalist Edward R. Murrow's stand against Senator Joseph McCarthy's anti-communist witch hunts of the early 50s.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've been wanting to watch that movie for a while, so I'm jealous of you. Alrighty. So we'll remove that from the wheel and spin it again. Nope, Nadia's gonna be happy. Shopping mall.
Yes. Yes. Sorry,
So-
I love shopping mall.
I think that's my third Nadia pick in a week here.
Yep. Third in a row.
Shopping mall is it's on Prime and Peacock and Shudder and Tubi. Holy shit, what is it not on?
Yes.
Very interesting. All right, super excited to check that one out.
Yeah.
Hey, if it's a good cheese movie, you're saying yes and cheese.
Yes.
Hopefully, it's some good fromage, which is French for cheese.
Gouda.
Alrighty. So, for those of you who do not, or for some reason, didn't see what we're in fact covering, Kevin is going to be covering the short film Droopy's Good Deed and then the drama film Good Night and Good Luck. I will be watching the short Clause for Alarm, as well as the apparently cheesy horror movie Chopping Mall. Yep. So those are our wheel spins this week. We'll get those to you next week. And of course, that's going to be the end of the show for this week. So it's been a great time. Hopefully you've all had a fantastic time tonight. But remember, we do have our show Movie Club. Our newest episode comes out this Friday, and it's about Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Spoiler alert, it's one of my favorite movies of all time. Take what you will. We'll be covering that on Friday. And then also this show every single Wednesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So until next time, everyone, hope you all have a fantastic week. Stay safe out there. And until next time, keep those eyes on the screen.